Hi and welcome to the Isle of Man.
We were held here for a week due to the wind not being in our favour to go south.
However, it did mean that we had a whole week to look around the island and enjoy it.
Please enjoy.
The castle this afternoon. That's the entrance we came in this morning. It's quite easy entrance, isn't it, Mary?
It's a bit shallow.
There's a silver gate going down.
The castle was built on an island and this causeway was built to give access to the castle.
So this is the beach, but it's not sand, it's actually shells.
The castle was built in the 11th century by the Vikings with a wood structure, and then in the 14th century the stone walls were built and it was enhanced again in the 1860s. Perhaps its most famous resident was the Moddy Doo, the black dog, supposedly a ghost that frightened some of the soldiers in the fort. The number plate gives away where we are. We did see lots of classic cars on the island, some local but lots of touring groups.
Drinking and driving here seems to be pretty popular. This is the local beer, Bushy's Isle of Man.
See how many you can recognise. We had to Google the Fraser Nash BMWs. We hadn't seen those before.
So,
Going to the Cream Parlor.
Not only were there ice creams, but there were also chocolates. Lots of windy streets in Peel. We've got the feel of a village. The main fishing in the port seemed to be scallop dredging for queenies.
dragon boat racing here.
So this is Ockles, the local brew, and this is what the place would have looked like back in the day when there were sailing vessels. Very busy.
So where we're going?
I think we're heading for Douglas at the moment. We're going around the island somehow to get the right buses.
We've got a £7 ticket for the day. We're going to make the most of it, go wherever we can. It's lovely seafront, lots of nice big hotels and buildings. Back in the day it must have been great here. So it has controls both ends and drives it back into here. That was a brakeman this end.
I have to turn the lines around when they change direction.
So we're on the way back from Ramsey to Douglas. Enjoyed your day out?
Yes.
What did you get up to?
Travelled from Douglas to Ramsey via Slayfell. Went up the hill. Back down to Ramsey.
Right.
Found a museum just by the harbour.
Of course, the Isle of Man, famous for the TT racing.
These look fantastic in great shape. I like the older bikes, I think. That would be my favourites.
We saw lots of evidence of the TT being prepared for. Lots of lampposts and walls having protective padding put on them for the riders.
What is the black hole then?
This be a prison here. and they used to bring them down the stairs from the magistrate. And then we used to lock that door, that prison, that's original prison door. You can imagine in the old days, in 1843.
That would have been cold and damp and all.
Black.
The distance is so far at the north end of the island. This is Peel Bay. Town behind. It's quite small compared with Douglas.
So we're heading on for a bit of a walk up the hill. Coastal footpath. And it looks quite steep, so we'll hopefully not get too out of breath and get ourselves some exercise. To the first peak on Peel Hill. That I think is the direction over to Douglas through that gap there. So I think we can just see the boat from here. And this is the top of Peel Hill. There's a watchtower in the corner here.
This is Corrin's Fleet that was built on top of Peel Hill in 1806 by Thomas Corrin. There's a couple of towers in front of us at the moment, which is for his wife and his children, where he buried them. He used to sit on the third floor and read with his fireplace, but they had to block the windows up because the ships that were coming in kept mistaking it for the end of the harbour.
The views from the top were spectacular, long distances you could see.
So we went in Peel Sailing and Cruising Club last night for a beer. Very friendly club, and they're having a race on Sunday, so we might watch that. So it's race day, whether they're starting, finishing. Reef, and he's taking a fair bit of wind there. So first boat around the corner, and the blue boat with the tatty sacks is second, and the blue boat's tacked, but he's in irons. Now he's got going now, the red boat. I think he was too high, was pinching.
And the following day we took a steam train trip.
Accelerates pretty quickly, doesn't it?
Best views are on this side, according to the typical.
Where are we going?
Port Erin.
So tell me, are you expecting Hogwarts, the magic beans on this trip?
I'm not sure, but there was a 9 3/4 was at the far end.
Yeah, okay, well I hope there's no wizards on this train.
We took a little trip to the Transport Museum.
That's first class, but not sure whether it's that much better than what we came up in. Maybe the seats are a bit bigger.
I visited the house of Mananam. It shows the island's history, and there I found a beautiful reconstruction of Viking Odin's Raven, which was sailed over from Norway in 1979. After an extensive search we managed to find a flag. Too big for a pennant though.
This is Port Erin Bay. Looks like it's quite a sheltered bay. 4 moorings in the middle of the bay, and there's a breakwater to the left that shelters them, which is beyond the pier.
This is Port Erin lifeboat. We watched them manoeuvring and doing an exercise offshore, and then they brought the boat in to bring it back into the lifeboat house. Looks a bit like something from Thunderbirds. They did a great job, and it's a fantastic mechanism for bringing the boat back on shore.
This is the reef that runs across the entrance half of the bay at Port St Erin. That gives you a bit of shelter from southerlies or westerlies, I guess. This corner of the harbour in Peel looks a bit like Forgotten Corner. There's a lot of boats, 4 or 5 down here, that don't look like they're in great shape. This one might need a bit of attention, and maybe a bailer or two. This one's not looking much happier. I wonder why they leave them down here.
While we were out walking, we saw this camera stunt for a wedding photo. And this is Paul getting sent to the naughty corner for some misdeed. With us not being able to get around the island sailing, we took a hire car and had a road trip around the island. This is the north of the island. We spotted some nice old cottages, and then took the route back into Douglas and south to the highland areas up on the tops, and then back into Peel for the night, and then went the following day to the south of the island where we visited Port St Mary, which we were thinking of going and anchoring in, and and Castle Bay as well, which was another alternative.
And mostly motorboats in there.
So this is Calf Sound with plenty of tidal action going on here. There's a tidal rip through there. Need to get the tide right.
This is our favourite fish bar in Peel. The kippers in a bun. Prawn cocktails was probably the favourites.
We love Peel as a place to go and stay and trip from. And lots of quaint little places in it. It's a lovely place to stay.
Oh, that's us finally at sea, having a nice sail. We've had a little bit of a motor up the coast, but there's just enough wind to get us going, 4.6 knots. So we're taking advantage of that and switch the engine off. It's lovely. This is Port Erin. We're just going to go in here, have a look-see. We may stay overnight, but it depends on the swell. We're going to pick up a mooring, have some lunch and decide. And if not, we're going to go further down here through that gap there into Calf Sound and go through to St Mary's port. Lovely spot on the beach, and nice hotels and things up on the cliff top. The lifeboat station, and there's actually a diver in the water down here, so we were slightly concerned that if we came in here, because we knew there were divers the last time we came. So lifeboat station here has got its flag at half mast. Why is that, Mary?
Well, it says today's flags at our stations across Scotland and the HQ in Poole and Visional Base in Perth fly at half mast in recognition of the 50th anniversary of the Long Hope lifeboat disaster.
We decided to go down to Calf Sound and round to Port St Mary.
This is us just about to go through Calf Sound. Up on top, where we drove to the other day.
So this is Calf Sound entry. The following day we heard on the VHF that somebody had got the tides wrong here and went aground. The lifeboat had to come in to rescue them.
We're just about through the other side. You can see all the cars lined up on there. Both people up the top.
So this is St Mary's Port from the seaward side, and we're intending to pick up a mooring buoy just over there somewhere. Mary's coming in upwind, and we'll pick that up. We'll stay overnight and then leave and go south to Anglesey in the morning. And is Mary having a nice time at Port St Mary?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, she's getting some sun. Just had a nice tea and we're just sitting chillaxing. That's a lovely evening here in St Mary Port. A nice little anchorage that they have here. Well, I think there's 4 visitor moorings, but there's a cloud of obviously local anchorage buoys here as well. Protection from the harbour over here, but you are open to the east if you get a blow coming this way.
Okay, so we just left Port St Mary and we're heading right ahead. Only a week late, but we're eventually on our way.
What sort of a night did we have?
Oh God. Talk about rolling. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous to start with. Trying to keep yourself still in bed. We must have gone off at some point because I eventually managed to get to sleep. Not nice.
It was okay this morning.
We should have some nice wind today. We have a passenger.
We thought it was a chiff-chaff, but I'm sure the bird watchers among you will tell us what it is.
Oh, where are we off to? 94, 95, 97, 98.
What's my good either? This is Holly and Coast Guard, Coast Guard Channel 73, please, over.
Lots of swirlies here as we go through the shipping separation loan towards the Skerries. It's definitely swirly here. I think there's about 2 to 3 knots of current crossing us from port to starboard. Now you can see how much difference the actual course, that's our course over the ground, that's the direction the boat's pointing in. How much tide there is sloshing through here, and when we came in out of the traffic separation zone just up here, we were actually pointing way across here somewhere above the Skerries, and we were wondering, well, we're going to miss the Skerries, but yeah, the good old tidal current here is sweeping us around the corner at 8 knots, so yeah, shows you how much effect tide can have on your course. It's coming into Holyhead. Not quite sure where the pontoons are. We know there's a lot of broken pontoons in there and there's other stuff, so we've got to avoid that. So we'll just take our way slowly through here.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. The Isle of Man was very enjoyable.
I enjoyed the Isle of Man. It was great. I thought Peel was excellent. Good place to base ourselves from to go around the rest of the island and do things. I enjoyed going up the mountain and the electric trains. That was good, and the trip up and down the coast to and from Ramsey. And yourself?
I enjoyed the steam train. Great fun. I haven't been on one for years. And we also went on, when we were on the bus to go to Douglas, we went down some of the TT track, which was very interesting. You can see why lots of accidents happen.
So watch next time anyway to see how we got on in Anglesey.
Please subscribe and click the like button and press the bell. And also share with your friends. It's all free.
So till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Jackanory, Jackanory, Jackanory.
Tell a story.